All right, guys, we're back again. This time, what I'm going to show you is how I make the van look as if it had never been on a trip. That means all the wood that I put in it, the framing, the bed, and then put the seats back together. Nothing was done in a way which is going to damage the van from its original way that it was made. In other words, I didn't alter the van. That is a permanent alteration. So that when I go back from the trip, which I have, I would put back the van just the way it was before the trip. No signs of it that ever was in a trip with a frame, bed, and all that inside. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to take all that out and how to put the seats back in place. And it's really not that difficult, but it's something that I need to show you. This is a Mercury Villager 2001. This might work for you on how to take the seats out, how to put the seats back in, and if you want to make a trip like this, how to alter it so that it doesn't affect the van in a permanent way. It's always a temporary fix. I hope you enjoy it. Stick around. As you can see, I have the right tools, a screw gun or a motor drill, and I use it to take out that piece of wood because I have attached it to the frame of the seat. The back seat has a frame that moves forward and back to adjust the seat. In this case, I used that and locked it in the front so that I can use it to tie down the wood. Now, as you can see, I'm taking all the screws out. It's easier with the drill motor or screw gun. I have the right tip. It says Phillips tip, but you can use a Phillips screwdriver. Depends what's more convenient for you at the time. It takes longer with just doing it all by hand, but it works either way. So you take out all the screws because I made it as simple as I could. Once I take out all the panels from the top of the bed, then I just take them off, and all I have left is the frame of the bed. So I'll move those boards out of the way, and then I'll show you how to take out the frame itself, because it's attached all the way in front, and I'll show you where. Right there, right here is where they're attached to the frame of the back seat, the adjustable frame. So I take out those bolts or the screws right now, and that releases the frame, both sides, the passenger rear side and the driver's rear side, and I take them off so that the whole frame all the way across, you can see how it can just come off all the way across. Once you put it all the way out, of course, once I get started on this, lady has to get involved. You see that? So anyways, as you can see, it's a little messy, but I have to sweep it, vacuum it. But I'm going to put now the back seat. It's a little heavy to do one person, but it works just fine. You lift from the back of the seat and the front, putting one side of it first so that you don't have to lift the whole thing at one time. Then you just push it back into the van making sure it doesn't rip into the carpet. By pressing here, it releases right in those holes that allows you to move it forward and back. I want it to leave it here for now because I want to bring that seat up to here so I can bolt it down. Well, actually in this case I'm going to leave him in front to give me room to work on the back seat to put on the bolts. And the bolts go in those holes in the back and the hole in the front. Making sure you have the right size. Every vehicle may be different, but in this case I have the socket and a ratchet. Line it up so that the holes match to the back of the frame. And then you just put them lightly in place with the bolts in place. Not tight, just finger tight. Make sure you do both sides. Now you can start tying them up a little bit so that they don't come off. But don't tighten them all the way. That way you can work on the other side and get those started and tighten them up a little bit, not all the way. You'll have all the bolts lined up, kind of loose, so that it's flexible enough for you to move the seats a little bit so that you can line up the front bolt to the holes in front. Once you do that, then you know they're all lined up. The bolt, this thing falls right where it's supposed to fall, right in line with that hole. And then this one just goes in there. Same thing on the other side. We tighten them up and that's done. Once you get them all lined up, you tighten up once in front, tighten up those bolts, and then back to the rear and tighten up the ones in the back. That's pretty much it. I can push it all the way to the front, make a cargo van, or I can push it all the way back and put the captain seats in there, which I have the captain seats, and they just slap in place. They're simpler than this. They just snap in place. You just make sure they're all the way tight and do all the 6 bolts and you're done. I have just pushed the seat all the way back, and this is a little cargo section. Now the captain seats go in front, and they're very easy to put on. So those holes on the floor line up to the hooks of the seat, and they just slap in place. Very simple. I don't think I need to show you that one, how to put them in there, but because they just slap on there. They're very simple, and that's about it. Once you get the seats in there, your vehicle is back like it used to be before you took a trip.